Here you go. Thanks. Topic 2. All right, so
Get the coffee out for this.
I've been on a fucking tear with these real talk topics.
Real talk.
Real talk, bitches.
Real talk with Enigma and Big John.
Yeah. Woo.
Yeah.
I debated doing a fun topic, but our third chair is missing, and I need a third for it. Pancake could have been here too, but she's a hater. Hashtag real talk. Yep. So
Real talk.
earlier in this week, now I'm gonna keep everything vague and not name names, because that is not my place to do so, because it's not my business.
Because he's a good man.
I try to be, but anyway.
You're such a good man, why do you go to red box around you?
Yeah, it's strange stuff. So anyways, so I was free, but no. Okay, you can... Oh, boy. Anyway. Alright. So, I was having a discussion earlier in this week with a friend, and I learned some things, or noticed some things that are going on with someone in their life. I'll leave it at that. Anyway,
I'm intrigued.
So I've been talking to this person for a while, obviously, because we're friends and yada yada yada. And I've noticed that there's a lot of negative that comes up when talking about this person. Not the person I'm talking to, but the person they're talking about.
Got it.
If that makes sense.
So when you two are talking,
mm-hmm.
and this third person gets brought up,
yeah,
the second party is talking negative about the third party.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay.
Most of the time when this party comes up, it's something negative. Now, it's not, hate, blah, blah, blah. It's more like, oh, I don't like
just
this,
bad,
or
just
this
bad
is
talk.
not. Yeah, exactly. So, I obviously was not a fan of that. And this is the only example. I've had other situations where I've talked to people and they have a lot of negative in their life, like, oh, why is this way, or this is difficult, or things like that. And obviously, as a friend, you want to be supportive and you want to assist and, be helpful when and where you can. And, you want to share your opinion. So my topic is there such a thing as too much help? Obviously everyone has their own life. Everyone can make their own decisions. Ultimately, it comes down to them. What do they want to do? Sometimes, with these certain conversations, with these certain individuals that I've had, where I've put out my opinion, occasionally I will think, you know what, Bret? Maybe you're stepping a little too far. That's not your place to say it, even if it may be
the truth,
the correct thing to say, or the true thing to say. Because I honestly have no power to tell somebody, you're living the right way, you're living the wrong way. I can only speak from my opinion. And, what was I going to say?
You have no right to say you're living the wrong way, right?
Yeah, I have, there's no... that's with anybody, anything. Just even a choice in general. If a person chose to eat thing A versus thing B, I can't be on top of that person you know what? That's not good, or you shouldn't make that choice, or you chose wrong, or whatever, because, that's fucking ridiculous. They, can and have made that decision on their own. Almost said choice as choice and decision at the same time. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, even if you know something is a wrong or not the best situation, is there such thing as helping too much?
Yes and no.
Mm.
I mean, you gotta look at it this way, like, the way I see it is like, your sanity matters more.
Mm.
Because you can only help somebody so much. The goal is to help them and be a good person, yes. But if it drives you to go insane, and no matter how many times you give this person advice or guidance and they just still don't take it, that's not on you.
Right.
That's not you. That is you trying to help, and basically it's like, if the person keeps asking that, if you keep giving them advice, then you're stupid.
Mm.
And that's helping too much.
Mm.
Because it's not going anywhere.
Mm.
The best way to help somebody in that scenario is, you don't listen to my advice, so why am I giving you advice?
Mm.
Why do you ask for it? Challenge them. Put it back on them. Get them to realize, oh, I'm not? I thought I was. Make them think. I mean, that's what I do with the teenagers all the time. Like, teenagers come to me and ask me advice all the time. Like, what do I do in this situation? What do I do in this situation? I mean, my friend Caleb still asks me.
Mm.
And I give them my advice. And if they don't take it, it's their choice.
Right.
There's nothing I can do about it. If they keep coming to me, and coming to me, and coming to me, and coming to me, then it's like with Caleb's a grown man. He can make his own decisions. I know he comes to me because, one, he's in a fit of either anger, rage, or extreme emotion, and he just needs to clear his head before he does something stupid. So that's why he calls me and asks me, what would you do in this situation? Because I know you keep a calm, level head most of the time. Alright, well, this is what I would do in this situation. Okay, I'm going to do that. And 9 times out of 10, I think he does do it. I don't know, though. I'm not there when he does it. But in your situation, I don't know exactly what is being said, and I don't know like what exactly you're saying to them.
Mm.
So, like, in that situation, my first reaction would be, if this person keeps talking negative, it's like, yo, listen, like, I don't care what your opinion is of this person, but this is my opinion of the person. It's not fair that they're not here to defend themselves, so let's not talk about them.
Mm.
And I mean, if it's constructive and it's a way for us to help them, I'll talk about it, because that sometimes needs to happen. But if we're just going to belittle the person and sit here and talk about how bad they are, then no, I don't want to be a part of that, because that's not their value. That's not who they are. Like, quite honestly, like, the best way to help this person is call them out and say, you need to stop talking bad about this person. I know you have a problem with them. Work it out. Like, grow up and work it out. Talk to them, confront them, because if they're adults, that's what you should do. That's the best way to help, is like, you need to confront this person, and until you do, stop talking about it to me.
See, like, the lady asked in the chat, so to clarify, is the person, I'm just going to,
I can kind of see it.
is this person coming to you for advice, or are they coming to you venting and you're offering the advice? Just thought it might change the thought a little bit. The thing
that's different, then.
Yeah, absolutely. They're not directly asking for anything, but it's how a person is treating another person.
Okay.
So, like, my observation...
So party 3 is treating party 2 poorly, or is party...
Correct.
Okay.
So, how this person I am talking to is being treated, I believe, is wrong. and should not happen. No one should feel this way.
Well, then I can tell you this much. And I have a very specific thing. There's a girl that I was talking to for a very long time. She was beautiful. She was awesome. She was great. Only problem was she had a boyfriend. I was like, you know what? I completely understand. I understand if you're kind of in and out with him. It's all right. When you guys are completely broken up, come back and talk to me. Until then, I'm not going to say I'm going to wait, but if I'm around and I'm single, I'll be more than happy to take you out on a date. But figure stuff out with what you're doing. Things got on and off quite a bit. I found out that, and she kept going back to him. She kept going back to him. It was like, if he's so bad, why do you keep going back to him? And just trying to give her advice, you should just leave him. You shouldn't have to deal with this because he's being mean to you. Like, he beat her and stuff, and she still kept going back to him. At that point, she is the one making the decision to do it. Mm-hmm. There's no advice you can give to a person, right, that will change their mind. So, quite honestly, the way that it sounds is kind of the way that Killer Bunny is saying it. This person is just venting because they need to vent. Mm-hmm. And they trust you enough to vent to you.
Mm-hmm. And I'm not, that's not end goal or anything. Not trying to weasel my way into anything. If it were.
That was just my
No, I understand.
Story.
I just want to put that out there because, internet's jumpy on things. Because so many people
no
watching
conclusions.
This podcast. But
we don't jump to conclusions either.
Never do. Bret hates Jews. What? No. That's the thing too that I'm about it because I don't want to ruin anybody's life or things like that.
Well, here's the thing. If they're not asking for advice, you don't always have to give it. Mm-hmm. If you feel obligated to give it, maybe sometimes don't and see how you feel after. Mm. And see if you feel okay about it. If you feel indifferent about it, go differently about it. It's kind of like what I deal with in car sales. Read the emotion. Read what you're feeling. Don't just feel it and feel it. Read what you're feeling. Actually dig into what you're feeling and why you're feeling that way when somebody's talking. When somebody's talking to you and you start to feel angry, why am I getting angry? What about what they are saying angers me? Oh, they're talking about politics. Mm-hmm. Politics is a touchy subject because they're talking about things that I care about and they are disagreeing with me. Okay, now, they disagree with me. What do they disagree with me about? Dig deep into that. Why do we disagree? It's like that. So it's with this person, it's this person's sharing information with me. And it's the same kind of information the whole time. This person's being treated wrongly over and over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. And if it sounds like you're giving the same advice over and over and over and over again, you can't keep kicking a dead dog.
Right. And that's the thing too, conversation wise, that always is in my head. If you, we talked about the venting thing, if you are talking to me about a subject, that means I want to talk about this subject, right? So if you didn't want my input, my feedback, my return of volley here, why bring that up? You know?
Here's the thing. Sometimes, and this is kind of what I've learned with women, sometimes they just need somebody to listen. Sometimes people just need somebody to listen to them. Like me, I'm kind of wired like a woman. I want somebody to listen to me sometimes. Just because I have so much going on in my head, I just needed to get it out.
Right, but you want it out because maybe this person can give you an opinion you haven't. When I blow up about work and things like that, obviously I'm having a stressful time, but I'm never oh fuck John, he doesn't know what's going on with work. Whenever, like, you say something about it, or Billy says something about it, I'm never like, nah, fuck that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'll listen to it and things like that. No.
There are some times where some people work it out by talking.
Mm.
So, like, me,
Mm.
I work things out when I talk about them sometimes.
Mm.
And it just takes me a minute. I start talking about it, and it's like, okay, I'm starting to understand. Oh, and then so this will. Oh, and then that, and so I get to the conclusion myself. I just need to verbalize it, and I need somebody to help confirm it for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's just something I hate. Not hate. I dislike about conversating. Like, if you just needed to shoot it out there, to me that doesn't make sense. Like, I don't know.
People work in different ways, man.
I know, but
it's the most confusing thing is communication.
Like just listening to someone. Like, I get that you want somebody to hear you what you're saying, but that's because of you'd want the return too. Like, I don't know, if you just need to say it, then go say it to yourself. Like, you could say everything up here to yourself, you know?
Yeah, but
or
sometimes
you could say it out
have,
loud to a mirror. Like,
sometimes it doesn't have the impact that it needs, because if I'm saying it to you,
but why me? Why, or why party X in general? Like,
so
why put that on them?
So for one, it makes it real. It makes it real when I'm talking.
Yeah, but not if I'm able not to return anything. I could be a fucking brick wall for all I care there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not saying your subject matter isn't important, because it obviously is, and you should talk about it. But if that's the case, why... Okay, it's a bad example, but this is what I think about. Like, okay, you're walking in with all this paperwork, right?
Mm-hmm.
You walk into my desk or wherever the fuck I am. You plan it, and you just go. Like, hey, here's all these things to do. Not that I have necessarily a responsibility to keep thinking about this sheet of paper, this sheet of paper, this sheet of paper, but maybe it's just me. Like, if you came to me and dropped this off at me, I'm going to be thinking about it. I'm going to stress out over things that are stressing you out. I'm going to be happy about the things you're happy about. I'm going to be interested in the new things you want to do. Like, I'm invested. Like, obviously, I'm listening to you there. I'm looking at the fucking paperwork and looking at all these taxes or whatever the fuck it is.
Yeah,
Yeah. Like...
No, I understand. Conversation is two ways. But I think I'm just thinking of it as because in marriage, sometimes it doesn't need to be two ways, just because you know the person so well. And that sometimes the person just needs to talk it out, and you understand it, and you just see it, and you let it happen.
Mm.
Sometimes with really good friendships and relationships, like, I'm trying to think if there's anybody that I talk to that I just go and I just say, hey, listen, I need you to listen to me. And they just let me talk.
I mean, I've done this in chat too, where someone will bring something up, then it'll be like, oh man, this isn't happening. Oh, this isn't, like, nobody wants to do this. And I'm like,
I got one.
Do you want me to do something about it? Do you not want me to do something? Like, don't fucking do that to me, you know? I don't know. There's messes with me.
Like, there's my one friend Willie, who has kids. He volunteers with youth with me, and after almost every Monday night, we kind of hang out, and I just start talking to him, just talking, and he'll listen. And he'll just listen to me, and then it's just like, this is what I'm feeling. He's like, well, just go do it. Those are the only words he ever really says.
Mm-hmm. Because he doesn't feel like he needs to put anything in. Like, I understand if you talked it out, and you came up like this with the solution, like you said. Like, obviously, Willie heard that, and he's like, he heard the solution that he agreed with, and he's like, go for it. He had nothing further to input there. Mm-hmm. Like, that's still a back and forth. It's just like, you know what? Yeah, you're good. You figured out your own shit. It's just like a kid working through a math problem or something like that. Like, you give the little, like, yeah, that's good. Or, no, don't do that. Like, it's the little things. It's just like...
And sometimes, and that's exactly my point. So it's like, like I said, sometimes I talk it out
Mm-hmm.
and I figure out the solution on my own, I just need that confirmation.
Mm-hmm. But when you don't get the confirmation you're looking for, and then it's just open end. Yeah, and I'm like, do you want my input here? Like, I have a thought on it, and then fucking throw it out there, and it's like, I don't know, man. Lady just responded with a paragraph, so I'm gonna scroll to it.
Some people don't necessarily need an opinion or for you to offer a solution, but they want validation basically for something to say, yeah, I hear what you're saying, and that really sucks, or that's great, or whatever. I think that's what she said.
Yeah, I just got the tail end of it as you said it.
And then
sometimes you can just literally ask if they want more input.
The little things can make a big difference. That's very, very true.
I don't know. It's just...
Yeah, and that's a good point, too. It's just, hey, listen, do you want my input? Because
but that's
I have some.
Every fucking time when it's constant, and it's not just this one example. Like I said, this is numerous examples. I'm kind of branching off of one. It's just this recent one put me on this path for the topic. Like, because that's like every...
Oh, here's another thing. So, like, kind of how I was talking to you about, like, your sanity matters more than anything. Because if you are not sane, your input is actually garbage. It doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't. It doesn't actually help the situation.
I agree with that. Excuse me.
So sometimes you may have an input, like a youth group. There are sometimes I have an input to say on what kids are asking or what they're saying, but then and I read the situation and I say, you know what? I look into myself as like, for me, it's am I looking to bring attention to myself, or am I trying to answer their question? This is how I'm reading that specific situation. And most of the time, the two things that I look for, okay, is this going to encourage them? Is this going to break them down? And is it going to point them closer to God? Second, is it going to bring me glory, or is it going to bring God glory? Those are the two things that I look for in my head, and this is what's going through my head as they're asking the question, and I know I have something I can say about it. And if those don't, if the answer is no, it's not going to edify them, it's not going to encourage them, and it's going to bring glory to me, I don't say it because of the situation I'm in, and it doesn't bring them closer to God, because the situation I'm in is my desire, and my head leader's desire is to bring them closer to God, edify them, and encourage them, and for God to be glorified, not me. So if I'm not meeting those expectations, then I don't do it. And it kind of like with work as well. Like, I could have a bunch of information, and the customer needs to know the information. And, I'm being honest. If my boss says, hey, this is the price of the car, this is where we're at, I have a little playroom, but you don't need to tell the customer that. I don't have to tell the customer we have a little playroom. I don't have to if I choose not to, if I read the situation that the customer is happy. Because if I tell him, oh yeah, we have more playroom, he's going to want more. So it's kind of like, you read the situation, you think about it, you critically think, like, in those moments. And I think it's just because I'm just socially adept. And that's not a jab at you. It's just the only word I can think of, because I work in a social environment where I'm talking to people nonstop and having to read their emotions, read how they're feeling, read if they're ready to do something, get them to do something if I want them to. But it's if basically, if you feel that giving your input will stress you out, don't give it. Yes, you care about this person. Yes, you want to give them your input. But if it's going to drive you somewhere farther down the road that you're not going to be in a good mood, in the right state of mind, in a place where you can keep giving good advice to people that need it or support when they need you. Like, say that party that you're having this issue with drives you to have I don't want to say a mental breakdown, but like a mini, like, oh, I can't deal with this right now. And then Billy calls and just, God forbid, knock on table, knock on wood. Hey, Bret, my grandpa just died. I need somebody to talk to. You're not in the right state of mind to give him the attention and the support he needs, because you're dealing with this, because you're trying to help this person. You need to help yourself before you can help others. Because if you're not in the right state of mind, if your body, mind, and soul are not at peace, you can't give it. That makes sense? And that's kind of what I try to do. If I'm not in the right state of mind, I don't go out and I don't do it. I wait. It's not that I wait, but I try and get there by, like, if at one youth group, if I'm really angry, and there are times where I do get angry, very, very, very angry. The whole entire time I'm praying, I'm like, God, help me not be angry right now, because I know you want me to teach these kids something. I know you want me to speak into their life. I'm waiting to hear from you. God, give me peace. And eventually, my anger goes away. And I'm in the right state of mind. Okay, God, is there anything you want me to say to them? No, not now. Okay, I'm just going to do me then. I'm just going to be John Danke, and hopefully they seem to like it and they want to be like me, because all I want to do is grow closer to you. Does that make sense?
It's never a stressful thing. It's just like now it is, because we're putting it all out there. But like, I'm never like, fuck, here we go. I mean, I was with one situation, and like you mentioned before,
and it never is. It never. You never feel that way right when it's happening. It's just, how do I help this person?
Well, yeah and no. Like you said, if it's getting to the point where it's stressing me out, you gotta just nip in the butt and say no. And I did that with one of these examples. There's plenty of times where something was coming up, and I'm like, no, not doing this right now, because I don't need that, or whatever. It's just, I don't know. Like, I'm seeing something that is, I believe, wrong. And not like wrong, like, you chose this or chose this. Like, morally, that's not how you should treat someone else.
Yeah.
And, like,
I'll give you a good example. My sister treats my mom like shit. And I have called her out on it. She still treats my mom like shit, and my mom lets it happen. There's nothing I can do about it.
Right.
No matter how hard I try. So I can either let it stress me the fuck out to where it goes into my job, my home, my church, this, and if y'all see me stressed out, y'all will be stressed out. So it's an energy that I bring with me. So I can either let it stress me out and stress out everything else I care about, or I can take one day at a time, one problem at a time, and just be me. And the only way that I know how to fix that situation is just love my mom the way that she's supposed to be loved. Because I know that she appreciates it when at least one of her kids love her. Because my mom gives a lot of love. So if one kid is being disrespectful and the other 2 or 3 are being loving and caring, I know that makes up for it for her sometimes. Because she loves my sister, but my sister drives my mom fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And there'll be a point in our time where, God forbid, knock on the table, that my mom gets driven in the hospital because of my sister, and we're going to have to look at my sister like, you have no choice but to move out because you're going to kill our mom. unfortunately, that's where it's going to have to come down to, because my mom doesn't have the cojones to kick my sister out.
Mm.
And I've said that to her face. So I don't mind saying it to the whole entire internet and the whole world.
Alright, I think that wraps.
Did that help?
I don't know, to be honest.
Did it give you some clarity at least?
I hope so. A little. I don't know. Topic 3!
Well, before, just main point.
Yeah.
Worry about your state of mind.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't help yourself, if you are in a place where is turmoil, then you're not able to help.
Right.
And if it's morally wrong and the person keeps going towards it, the only thing I can tell you is to keep loving the person, no matter what. You know, keep offering the helping hand, not always the advice, but the helping hand and the gestures. Like, what can I do? What can I do to help you? How can I help you? Because then they have to give you some kind of commitment to say, this is how. And if they don't give you anything, it's like, I don't know. Then just listen and let them talk. I mean, I'm good with letting things go in one ear, out the other. Sometimes not latching on to certain things. Not everybody can do that. So I guess just try and do those things. If that helps at all.